guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brushes and Bunnies, and today we have a little bit of a different video. It is the digital sketchbook video of my sketchbook series, and I originally started off the sketch as something private. I wasn't going to record it. I was just doing it for fun because you guys know that I am learning how to draw digitally. But as I sort of progressed with the actual drawing and sketch of the French Bulldog, I noticed how cute he was, and he was actually turning out pretty good. So I decided to just start the recording from the coloring process, and I think it's pretty interesting to see the steps that I take. And ideally, what I really think about digital art, the sketching aspect of it is not that complicated. I think there's not that much of a difference between sketching on paper versus sketching on a digital canvas. But I think what really comes down to it is the coloring process, especially in digital aspect. It's very different than if you were doing traditional art, but I think that there is some sort of correlation from what I've seen. And there are, of course, pros and cons to everything. But in terms of digital, with my exploration of digital art recently, I've noticed that it's actually helped me a lot with my traditional aspect of doing things. And the very first point I'd like to make is actually kind of talking about the freedom of what digital art allows you to do. I think in terms of sketching your ideas or your concept is so much easier than doing it on paper, because you can literally just keep erasing, you can keep redrawing, you can hide the layers, you can create a new layer, you can resize things very easily. And in terms of allowing your creative freedom to kind of burst in a way, or to explode, I think this is a really cool way to do that, especially doing kind of concept art. If you're doing concept art before putting something on a canvas, like a real life canvas, or on your a watercolor paper, for example, I think going further into the future, I think I'm going to be taking this sort of process where I create what I'm thinking about painting on digital canvas, and then kind of emulating sort of the colors that I want to do, maybe the background aspect, and kind of doing a pre-sketch on my digital canvas rather than do it on watercolor paper right away. So there's a huge kind of aspect where you can just play around with everything that you want, and you can go crazy, you can go wild, and you can explore the differences or the different possibilities before you apply it on paper. Because we all know once it's on paper, it can be hard to erase, it's very hard to adapt, and you have to be very careful with what you do, especially in terms of painting. Another aspect, which is sort of point number 2 in this video I'd like to make, is the fact that digital art forces you to really learn and challenge yourself in terms of learning the values of colors. So this is whether you have medium tones, highlights, shadows. It really forces you to take a look at certain things and to kind of bring in the blending aspect of things, which then could be applied to anything that you do traditionally. For example, if you're working with watercolor or just pencil art, you really have to take a look at the different types of values, the different shades, the different color tones within the actual subject that you're drawing. And I think that digital art, so far from the pieces that I've been doing, it has literally pushed me to pay attention to this and to see how things are really built color-wise. The third point, which kind of goes into the second point alongside with the colors, is getting familiar with the planes of the subject. So what I mean by this is like the plane of the face, how things are curved, how things are indented, how to create kind of a three-dimensional object out of colors, shadows, and highlights. And this has really made me observe certain things shape-wise. No matter if it's a dog or a human, I had to kind of really observe this aspect, and I think that in the long run, whether I do it in digital art, or if I do watercolor, for example, I can really apply this sort of knowledge or this kind of study aspect to my work. So rather than having or painting or sketching a sort of flat 2D object, you want to kind of bring life to your art by taking a look at the creases, the shapes, the curves, the indents, the shadows, the highlights, the color tones. Everything all together really helps to create this three-dimensional character. And with traditional art, I always had this trouble to do it. I could never really learn the aspect of it because it was, you're drawing on paper, and it's just very, it can be hard to emulate this kind of 3D character. But I'm seeing that with digital art, my exploration with digital art, I'm really seeing this sort of progression in terms of paying attention to this, and it's actually helping me kind of work my mind to see it, to visualize it much better. And I've been applying this sort of technique to my current art or my current sketches that I haven't shown you guys yet. So I think it's actually quite useful, and it's helping you see things in a different perspective. So these are my top 3 things that I've learned so far with my digital art exploration. I think that it's a fantastic way to kind of push yourself to explore different possibilities, as well as to learn the actual form of coloring things, or, you know, playing with the shadows. And I think that it has so far helped me a lot. It's not going to replace my traditional way of doing things. I like the traditional art, and I want to stick with it, and I don't think that's ever going to change, because I'm quite, I've always been more of a traditional art kind of girl. I really respect that aspect of art, and I think there's something really romantic about traditional art. However, I do strongly believe that the digital aspect is a great learning tool to kind of progress yourself as an artist, to learn different techniques and to apply this to your traditional art of ways. And so far it's been a fantastic ride, and I'm really looking forward to working more with digital art to learn new things. So let me know in the comments below, do you prefer traditional or do you prefer digital? I think that's the age-old question, and I'd be interested to know what are your opinions on this topic. And have you, for those of you guys who do both traditional and digital, have you seen that there's been some sort of progression in that sense, where you feel like digital art has helped you with your traditional things, or even vice versa? I think that they both can lean on each other, and I think that you can work with both, and it can help you in actually both fields. So let me know your thoughts below. I'm really interested to know this. And apart from that, if you like this video, give this a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my other social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, and of course subscribe to YouTube. All social media accounts are listed below in the video description, and I'd like to thank you guys so much for your continuous support. It's been an amazing journey so far, and I'm looking forward to what we will be accomplishing together in the near future. Apart from that, I wish you guys a lovely day. It is nice and sunny here in Berlin. I think it's about like 15 degrees or so. So maybe I'm gonna go out for a bike ride. I'm not so sure. But then again, I'm probably just gonna play video games for the rest of the day. Anyways, wish you guys a lovely day, and we will see each other very soon. Bye!